One of the most important things I've learned about building voice agents and working with LMs in general is that there is this happy zone of how much context you can feed an AI agent or an LLM for it to work properly. And what I see is that people who are new to AI and they're still learning it, they tend to underfeed the amount of information. They might just say like, "Hey, build me a voice agent and have it look up my business and figure out how to work out my database and figure out our sales process." And the agent doesn't have anywhere near enough information and can't perform. But when you start learning a little bit about AI, you might start feeding it way too much information and it starts hallucinating. So you might give it a 10, 20 page document with 10 examples, and this is how you do sales and service, and this is our emergency hours and all that stuff. And it doesn't perform properly either in a completely different way. So part of the challenge in building voice agents properly is to keep it in that happy zone. At each point in the conversation, it needs to be fed the right context. A lot of the times there's services that offer single prompt agents where it's just kind of like literally one prompt and the agent works off of that one prompt for a conversation. And that works fine if it's just doing one thing. But many times for businesses, they need to do more than one thing. They need to do two or three things, like take a call from someone that might need to have it might be a sales call or a service call or a support call or someone stuck in a facility like what I'm working on right now. So what happens behind the scenes then, you have two main ways of figuring that out. You make a conversation flow agent, which kind of breaks the conversation into different parts. Then you figure out each part of the conversation, what's the person going to say, how are we going to respond to it, what resources are we going to use. And that differs completely at every step in the conversation. And also, you can pass information between agents on a phone call, which is a little more complicated because when you make a cut and say you have like a triage agent and then it passes it to a sales agent, a lot of info is lost there. You have to figure out what minimal context am I going to keep and pass it on the next step. So that's a little bit about how the programming works behind the scenes with voice agents. I'm making one for our storage facilities right now and we're putting it live this weekend.